Hello guys, I'm back, it's Kevin from Thank You to Miku, and today we're gonna talk about sorry Miku. Okay, calm down please. That is better suited, isn't it? Okay, so please relax. Okay, let's try that again. My name is Kevin, I'm from Thank You to Miku, and sorry first of all that there haven't been any videos lately because I was pretty busy, so... So yeah, as you could see I was pretty busy, right? No, but in all honesty I was actually busy working quite a lot after I came back from the US, and also I don't always feel like making videos, so that's just how it goes. But now I can finally present you with what some of you have been waiting for, the top 10 hardest songs in Project Diva X. It's the newest game in the installment, and while I know there's some debate whether this game is good or not because it's changed quite a lot of things about previous games, we don't even want to talk about that today. We just talk about the top 10 hardest songs. Of course, again, it's all about the extreme charts, and what matters is how hard it is to perfect the song. So if the song isn't hard all the way through, but there's just that one part that's extremely hard, then this counts for the list. So without further ado, we start with the list. Number 10 is the cute medley. I can tell you already that in this list there will be quite a few of these medleys, which is a new feature of this game. And one thing that makes them hard in general is that they're just longer, because usually songs in this series are like 3 minutes long, but here the medleys are all like 4 minutes long. So of course if a song is longer, there's more room to mess up and it makes it harder. And also, of course, a medley means that there is like several songs into one, and yeah, there's just a higher probability that one of these will just be a hard song, and so it makes it hard to perfect. In this case, the beginning of Viva Happy is quite challenging because there's quite a few overlapping notes, and also the end of Age Age again. It's kind of the same case, but it's faster and even more disorienting, so if you're not that advanced of a player, that can be a bit frustrating. Then the very end is very easy, it's very relaxing, and maybe it will mess you up because you're so nervous because you've perfected up until this point. But yeah, this song isn't that bad. Number 9, Lost One no Gokoku. Yes, let's start with the positives. This song is kick-ass, it's probably one of the best villain songs, it's just amazing. But unfortunately the developers really fucked this up because the chart doesn't fit the song that much at all. For the most part they did some really weird things with just like 2 normal notes and then 1 error note, which isn't really what is going on in the song. So yeah, this song is actually quite a bit easier as it should have been, and only literally the last 30 seconds are what you would expect from the song. Then it follows the guitar, and just the very last solo is pretty hard actually. So it still manages to be on the list because there are some tricky parts when it picks up at the end, but I'm just disappointed that this chart doesn't fit the song that much, and yeah, it could have been much better and it could have been much harder. Number 8 is the Beauty Medley. Yeah, this song is rated only 8 stars by the Sega employees, and I have no idea why, but it's not the first time that they give a weird rating to a song. So, the start is Dependence and Tension, and there are so many overlapping notes following what Miku is singing, and there's also some weird pauses. I don't know what it is, but I got a lot of saves the first few times playing. And yeah, there's just so many slight changes. You think you know what you're playing, but then it's just slightly different and you mess up. And it also continues to Sweet Devil, it's the same issue. Then once it gets to Nebula, it's really relaxing and it's not too hard. And then the start of Chaining and Tension, it's a bit hard because there's some overlapping notes, but it's not that bad. In general, the start of the medley is by far the hardest part, and in general it makes it a hard medley in my opinion. Number 7 is Nonai Kakume Girl. This song is so kick-ass. In general, there's so many great songs in this game in particular, but let's not talk about that, it's not the topic of the video. So there's 2 obvious reasons why this song is hard. First of all, it's pretty fast, and also it's pretty long. It's actually 4 minutes long, even though songs in general in the series are 3 minutes long, other than the medleys, but this one is not a medley, but still it's very long. So then there's 2 overlapping notes that they constantly throw at you, and you really gotta find the right feel for them because it happens all the time in the song. Then there's also some spams that can be a bit tricky because you can never be sure what's the right speed. It messed me up for some playthroughs at least. there's the solo that actually isn't hard. I was expecting much more, but the other part that will mess you up is they try to disorient you because there's some notes coming at you in a circle and you can never be sure what's the next button to press. You really have to pay close attention, so that's pretty mean. Number 6 is the Chaos Medley. Yeah, you've probably realized by now that a lot of the hard songs in this game are actually the medleys. The start, on the other hand, Pink Stick Love, is pretty easy, except for they try to disorient you a bit by these notes in a circle near the end, but it's really not that bad. Gigantic OTN, on the other hand, makes it harder because it's quite a bit faster and there's some overlapping notes, but because it's not really following what Len is singing for the most part, because probably thought it was too hard, it's not that bad. And it's also the same case for Okochama Senso. But actually the solo is probably the hardest part in the song. It's really tricky and I really like it. ER Fan Club. Yeah, I don't know, it's a bit relaxing again. There's some changing notes where they try to trick you, but it's not that bad. You will probably not mess up at that part. Number 5, Hikyo Santa Urutanda. First of all, the song and the video are both amazing, probably the best video in the game. But this song, this note chart is so cheap. Yeah, some of you think it's a pretty bad note chart, but actually it's intentional that it's so bad, you could say, because the song, I can tell you, is actually about some superheroes fighting with unfair methods, so they're just following by doing the same with the note chart, so it's actually kind of clever, isn't it? But there are some problems with this note chart, why it's very hard. There are some notes coming from off screen, there's some notes on the same spot, so it's like hidden. Then there's a weird order of circle notes. Usually, you know, it's like in a clockwise motion or counterclockwise motion, but here you just never know what to expect. And then also when there's some notes in a circle on the controller, like I said, usually it's on a circle on the controller, but here it's just a very difficult order. It's not in a circle at all. And of course then there's some notes that are at a speed that is unusually fast. It's like, whoa, this note went by fast. And of course, in general, just the placing is not what you would expect it to be. It's just they're trying to trick you over and over again. That's the gimmick of the song. Yeah, really, this song wouldn't be hard if this wouldn't have this gimmick. And of course, then again, at the end, there's some overlapping notes that are actually some changing notes. You know, usually it's just when it's overlapping notes, the same note, but here it's actually changing. So it's quite a tricky song where difficulty really comes from Sega employees having way too much fun. Number 4 is Umiyuri Kaiteitan. Again, I am asking you why this song is rated as just 8 stars. I don't get it. It's of course not that fast, but it's the overlapping note that requires you to play with 2 hands. And then the main problem is there are uneven changes, you know? It's not 2 buttons of the same kind and then it changes, but it's like 3. It's so much harder. And then there's this one solo where it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. You really have to pay close attention to what is really going on, because otherwise you will play something slightly different. Of course, that's not right. And then near the star part, it even changes between uneven and even changes, so that's just so mean. And in my opinion, that's just the hardest thing, because you can't even say, okay, there's uneven changes, I will get used to it. But no, some of them are even changes. And in my opinion, this is just plain evil. Yes, finally made that part! Sorry, I just got a little distracted there. Number 3, Amazing Dolls. So yeah, the first problem you've already seen. It's just that Meiko is so sexy in this song, and if you pay close attention to the video and not the note chart, then yeah, it can really mess you up, like it did for me. The start of the song, there are some weird pauses, the tempo is just weird, and yeah, it's just really easy to get saves, but it's just a very short part, so it's not that bad. In general, the song is just very technical. There are many overlapping notes again, and it's, I don't know, it's just many tricky parts. I know, that's a very good explanation. And what's very unusual is that there are a lot of changing overlapping notes, you know? For example, there's overlapping notes with a circle followed by a triangle. And it's usually something that Sega never does, because I think usually they think it's too hard. But for this song, it's kind of the gimmick, it happens all the time. But I like that challenge. And of course, then the other hard part is right before Meiko shakes her boobs, that there's this tempo change. It's like way slower than before, and it can really mess you up. It's kind of tricky to find the right tempo here. Number 2, Seiso Bakudet's Boy, another song with some very explicit lyrics. Actually, you would never expect that probably, unless you actually translate the lyrics. This song for the most part is not hard. No, actually it's kind of relaxing. I mean, it's standard business for Project Diva players. The chorus and the solo, it's all very easy, but the verses, they're so hard, and they're hard enough for me to put the song on number 2 spot, because there's overlapping notes. It's like 3 overlapping notes, but then it's 4, and then the next thing it's 5. It's like it changes all the time. You can never know what to expect. You have to be so careful, because the number of overlapping notes changes all the time. That's really the only reason. Just play it for yourself and you know what I mean. Nein! Number 1, without a doubt for me, it's the Ultimate Medley. And I know some players will disagree. I've heard so many players, actually some of my friends, saying that this is pretty disappointing. And of course, the note chart for some parts could have been way harder, because yeah, sure, it doesn't follow exactly what Miku's singing. But still, there's just so many hard parts that add up. And I mean, it's just the sum of hard parts, and I played the song over and over again, and you can just imagine that there's just so many like stones in your way, and if you just mess up once, you have to play all the way from the beginning. So let's start. Hatsune Miku no Shoshitsu is actually no problem, very easy. Then Uda Omote Lovers, it's very interesting, actually I love the range by the way. It's getting faster and faster. It's not that difficult, but once you play it so many times, it might actually get so fast that your hands will get tired. So that can be a bit of a problem. It messed me up after I played for a long time. Then Sadistic Music Factory, the first part, there's just 2 strings of 4 overlapping notes, and I don't know, I always messed it up for the first few times playing, because I was kind of expecting 5. I don't know, it's a weird case. Then the second part with the tempo change. Of course, it's the weird sadistic tempo, you know. It's actually easier, way easier than the original, thankfully, but it's still pretty easy to mess up and get some saves in. Then Nichigen Dream Fever, it's actually faster than the original, and yeah, especially before the star note, in my opinion, it's the hardest part of the song, because there's just so many note changes, and especially there's some notes in a circle, and for this tempo, for me, it was very easy to mess up and just miss a note. That, in my opinion, is the hardest part of the song. And then, once the few times when I got that right, I was just so nervous. And I don't know, many people don't have a problem with the new Hatsune Miku no Gekusho part, but for me it's just so hard. I don't know, I have a real problem with that part. For me, it really messed me up constantly. I don't know if it's just a tempo, or I really have no idea. For me, it messed me up several times. And of course, as you could see, I was so happy once I finally managed to perfect that song, because for me, it was really a boss song. Yes! 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 Ah, hey Miku, look, this is great. I finally got a paycheck for this month. Now we can finally save up some money after all this money we spent at all these events. It's crazy. Now we can actually save some money. Yeah, look, I got 390 euro. Now we can start saving. What are you looking at actually? Oh shit. I know what that means. Well, there it is now. Are you happy now, Miku? But, excuse me, but there won't be any leaks this month, because that was all the money I had. So, like always, thank you very much for watching the video, and of course I would appreciate it if you would give the video a thumbs up, comment on the video, and just tell me what you think, and also maybe subscribe to my channel to see more Miku videos like that. Of course, as you can see, I'm very excited for Project Diva Future Tone. I just got my PS4, and yeah, of course there will be videos about Extreme Perfects, at least about this video. So, thanks for watching again, and Miku also says goodbye. I can finally present you with what some of you have been waiting for, the top 10 hardest videos, songs. Hey Miku, here. Hey Miku, here, this is... Hey Miku,